What's going on, Show Squad? Welcome back to another JCTCG video where we talk market, Pokemon collecting, and just overall making better plays. Let's get to it. So, I'm going to go over a couple of the cards that just been falling and crashing during the last couple of weeks and months, and just going to give my opinion on whether I will buy these or just straight up pass. So, let's start with the one and only Mega Charizard from Phantasmal Flames. Now, this card is goated, all right? There's nothing bad to say about this card, and we all know that this is just an amazing depiction of Charizard X and his pre-evolutions, right? Just wish Charmander didn't have the letters and, you know, on his face. Other than that, this Charizard is literally the best Charizard we have ever gotten, and I don't think that's a hot take. So, if we look into the chart, it's down 11% during the last month to so today, up 25 in sits, and just flat during the year. Me personally, I think this card could definitely come down, and the reason I'm saying that right now is because Phantasmal Flames has not gotten any reprints. I believe we are due for some, and $780 for a raw card is very steep for a modern set. And as we're going to see in a little bit, the pop for this card is already absolutely insane, right? So I believe if this card was to come down to the 500s, maybe even 400s, that will make it a buy for me. I don't think I would take a risk at this price. I know the card is amazing, it's goated, it's Charizard, was not to like. If you want to binder copy, maybe try looking for light plays. It's just at this price, I wouldn't personally buy it. So that'll be a pass for me. If it comes down to 400, 500, I'll buy it. Next, yeah, we have PSA 10s, right? Current auction, 1825, seems to be somewhere between 2,000 and 1,800, right? So this card has definitely fallen during the last couple of months. The problem here is that there's just so much of this card coming into the market, right? PSA, it also has the backlog, so we don't know how much is actually sitting there. It is safe to assume that there are plenty of copies sitting at PSA backlog, and once those flood the markets, and if we also get a reprint at the same time, I could see this card just maybe getting below $1,000. I think that would, I still wouldn't pick up this card, right? Like I would rather go for a BGS 10, right? Like I would rather go for a Beckett. I would rather go for a CGC Pristine at this point, just given the population, right? Like this car population is 29,000 already. This is a brand new set, right? Like we're still in this era. It came out not that long ago and is already at 29,000 pop. Me personally, I would not buy this. This is a huge pass for me if I was looking to speculate or just make a play on this. I also expect more reprints to come into the market. Although this art is goated, could be the best Charizard ever, no matter how much demand we could have. If the population keep growing, I would stay away if I was to speculate. Now, here we have the sold listings, right? I wanted to go over what were these cards selling for before. And I mean, obviously this was the best offer is after, best offer is after. So what I'm looking for is the first auction. And it seems like, okay, here we have it. So this card was selling somewhere between $2,900 to $3,000, right? And this is 3 months back. So once again, this is going to be a huge pass for me. I am not speculating on this card. Next, Pikachu, yes, right? Pikachu from Ascending Heroes. This card is also goated. Seems to be down 10% during the last month, and then is up 122% in 6 months. Although I really like this card, I just don't see myself picking this up at this price. Once again, if it comes down to 400 to 500, maybe even cheaper, $300 would be a really good range for me. I just can't see myself buying these at these prices. So same for the PSA 10s, although you could say that the PSA 10s right now, right, these used to sell somewhere in a 4,700. This car has definitely literally been slashed in half, right? So as we can see now, we're at 2,300. You could make an argument that perhaps there could be a play here, right? If you, for some reason, let's say Ascended Hero does not get any reprints, right? Or just the reprints that are just not as huge, and this population does not go insanely high, there could be a play here. It just doesn't feel good paying 2,300 for a modern car, right? This set is going to be in a print window for a couple of years, right? I will have to pass on this, right? This is a huge pass for me, unless, again, to summarize, $300 to $400 range for this in a raw, maybe 1,200 for a PSA 10. Seems like a pretty good range for me. The next one, Mega Gengar. This is another car, super huge. I'm actually a big fan of Mega Gengar. However, in the 3 months, this car is down 15%. In the 1 month, 12%. And up 42% in 6 months. Me personally, I would not pay $1,100 for this card, right? So as you can see here, you're going to see a pattern with my opinion here. These cars have just went up immediately since they first came out, and the reason I'm hesitant here is because unlike Prismatic, the Umbreon population has not grown that much, right? These cars are fairly easy to grade, so Pop is just going to keep coming to the market. And although Prismatic has been printed into the ground, the Umbreon is still super hard to gem in, right? As we can see, the prices now is like $5,000 to $6,000 for a PSA 10. I don't see that happening here. In fact, there could be a world in which this just goes straight down, right? If we recall the Umbreon when it first came out, it ended up coming back down to the $400 to $300 range, right? And after it had went up, so that could be possible here. I would not be picking up this. In fact, I actually ended up pulling this card out of a God pack that I ended up hitting with some of the Mega Attack rares. I did not get the God pack with the Pikachu, so I already own this card. It's nice in person. I would not buy it for this price. Next, PSA 10s. As we can see here, it is somewhere in the 2,300 range. Seems to be finding some sellers, right? That's kind of like their baseline. Once again, same philosophy here as the one that I'm applying for Pikachu. I just don't think this card should be $2,300 at this point in its lifespan. There's going to be more coming to market from PSA. This card is fairly simple to grade, very easy to hit. It comes in God packs, right? If we look into the sold listings, this card was selling somewhere in the $4,000. So it's down 70 to 80%. Wow, the pop is somewhere in the 7,500, right? So we're already starting to get into that 10,000 pop, right? Which makes this not that attractive to me, right? Like at this point, these cards are all passes for me. Unless these prices come down so much that I'm like, okay, I can't say no. I'm staying away from these. If it comes below $1,000, maybe I'll speculate on it. I will not be buying for these prices. Next, Pikachu, Surgeon Sparks Pikachu. So here we have, if we take a look into the month, this card is just straight down, 15, 16% down. The listings have it somewhere in the 284. This card here makes more sense to me, right? I like buying charts that look like this. Now you don't want to start knife catching, right? So you see how this is starting to round right here. Could be finding the bottom. Let's see, this is just going straight down. So I think this card could literally get into the $250 to $200 range. If it gets there, this could be an amazing buy. Let's go into the PSA 10s. Lowest listed right now is 910. It is definitely a discount, right? Given that this car was selling for somewhere in the 1366 at its highest. So this Pikachu is actually more attractive to me given the price range. The pop is actually fairly high. Surgeon Sparks has been printed into oblivion recently. However, look at this gem rate, right? It's not that easy to grade. In fact, you might have to send 3 of these to get one, right? So roughly 33 to 35% to get a gem in 10. This I'm watching. So for this Pikachu, I would definitely watch this. If this falls somewhere between 700 to 650, maybe I'll pull the trigger on one of these. It is just starting to get into a better range for me. So now I'm gonna go over a card that I would buy. So here we have Stamp Box Topper from Mega Evolution. This Bulbasaur hat, right? Beautiful artwork. But that is not what's attractive to me. So this here is why I really like this card. If you can see here, this pop, 1600 out of 22. This card is extremely difficult to grade. And it is one of Gen 1 starters. Has a stamp. People love stamps. If you ask me, this is definitely on my watch list. I would definitely buy this. Next, this is the Pikachu that I would buy. Now, I already have multiple copies of this card. It's the nice Holo from Diamond and Pearl era. This is the original Pikachu. This is a Pikachu that I will buy. In fact, there is no PSA 10s, right? A couple of PSA 9s, and everything is just 8s and 7s. So if you're actually looking for a rarity and something that depicts Pikachu, this could maybe satisfy that itch. I don't know why this card looks like that. This definitely has some type of filter here. Next, we have Prismatic Evolution's PC TV promo. Hey, we all used to love these Pokemon Center promos, right? It's PC promos. Eevee is from Prismatic, and the pop is 4,600 out of 17, right? So it's not that easy to have. It's less than $1,000. It's $700. If you can find, if for some reason this card drops to $600, $500, could potentially be a good pickup. Prismatic is going on rotation sometime next year. This could definitely see some growth, and what I have to compare here is the Snorlax from 151, right? The Pokemon Center stamp. Next. So, as an added bonus here, we have this goated Charmander meme card. Now, this card is somewhere in 2,900, right? Might be able to find it cheaper. If you don't want to look into the stamp, you can just get the regular version. It's way cheaper than this. But this, look at this pop here, 680 out of 8,000, right? Super hard to grade. This price is a little too steep for me. If for some reason this falls between 1,500, to 1,000, I might consider picking one up. At this price range, is a pass for me. However, this is super attractive here, this PSA pop. I'm gonna wrap it up here. If you have any comments or opinions, please let me know which car you will pick up, which you are buying and or on your watch list. So with that being said, if you find this video helpful, please give it a like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you all on the next one. Peace.